Wishing that I could run away. Imprison my fear, just pull me away. Pull me away. Secret fantasies of me. See the light of day, light of day. I don't know.
What up, guys? We back. My name is Danny Courtney. This is my YouTube channel. Recently got a package in from Ultra Racing. If you guys don't know Ultra Racing, they do a lot of chaffy. They sent over a couple things for the Mazdaspeed 3 back here. This is a 2010 Mazdaspeed 3. Couple things coming from Ultra Racing. We've got a bunch of chassis stiffening mods, not chaffy, but chassis stiffening mods we have here in this, when considered a box, I've considered a massive piece of saran wrap. So I'm going to take the next couple minutes, cut into it, see what we got, and go over it. Ridiculous. I get it, they want their product to show up clean and unscathed, and I guarantee you it is because that packaging was crazy, but jeez, glad we got to this. Took a couple minutes. I'm sweating now, my knife's dull, but let's see what we got. Okay, after about another 10 minutes, all of that has been ripped off. We have our 3 pieces from Ultra Racing. I can tell you guys, this is just from feeling this is some of the highest quality crap yet, and it should be super easy to install. This install will take less time than me getting everything out of the packaging. So let's go over a few of the things that I got today that will be going on the Speed 3. All 3 of these things will be going on in this video. So you don't have to wait for each individual item to go on for each individual video. All 3 will be going on right now. Shouldn't take too long, should be very easy. Let's go over what I got. So right here, let me open it up all the way. So this might take a minute. Okay, after about another 15 minutes, finally got everything out of plastic wrapping, out of cardboard, out of everything. So the 3 things we have here is like a rear strut tower bar is what I believe this is. It goes behind the second row of seating, kind of where the trunk is, but I do not think it's going to interfere with the seating arrangement at all. I believe I'm still going to be able to have passengers in the rear as well as stuff in the trunk. We have a front, they call it a front bar. It's a front strut tower bar. This thing is awesome. Everything here is powder coated really nicely white and is super lightweight. Like you can pick this up with one finger. If it balanced correctly on if you pick it up from the middle, I'm sure, yeah, it's not bad. Okay, super lightweight stuff, and I believe this is a sway bar. Not really sure if it's for the front or rear yet. They classify it as a room bar 2-point. So I'm not sure where this is exactly going to go right now, but all this stuff is super high quality, nice powder coated white, super cool. Their insignia is like branded in here with a nice piece of like little thin piece of metal, which is pretty cool. All this stuff is really, really high quality stuff. They packaged it incredibly well to where if you dropped it out of an airplane in the packaging, this stuff would have been perfectly fine. So a little annoying to get out of the packaging. I think they could do a better job with not being so excessive, not exaggerating. That took me 35 minutes to get out, which is a little crazy, but it's all out now. Let's get it on the car, see how it fits, and we'll go from there. So far, we have our strut tower brace on. Really quickly, before you put a strut tower brace on any car, make sure your car is not on jack stands or a lift or anything. You want pressure on the shock tower because it'll keep the bolt holes lined up. I had all 4 corners lifted up first, and it just messed up the bolt holes. You just have to go back and figure it out, like basically jack up the lower control arm to get the bolt holes to match up again. But if you're smart, the first time around, don't put your car on jack stands when doing a strut tower bar like this. Ultra Racing strut tower bar. Fitment was absolutely perfect. Didn't have to massage it in place at all. It goes around all the bends perfectly. It goes around the battery box really, really good. Really snugs it in there. And the bolt holes line up perfectly. They're slotted just a little bit. You guys can see that, how they're just not perfect bolt holes. They're slotted. So if you do have individual variation, your car might have gotten a slight minor accident, it will still fit. So far, incredible. The next bar we're going to be tackling is this rear bar. I didn't necessarily know what it was for, honestly, so I just went on Ultra Racing's website right here. They have a picture of pretty much everything. Right here, it looks like it goes kind of like where the shock tower mount would be, behind the seats. So we're going to do that one next. I'm going to rip out some of the interior behind the seats, and we'll see that.
I can't wait to leave this town, 'cause lately I've been feeling down. The cold nights just don't feel the same. Oh.
Guys, I got in this next bar. It was a lot of confusion, so I kind of just went at it without recording. But right here is the trunk of the Speed 3. I took out most of the interior pieces in the trunk, put down the back seats. As you can tell, these side pieces are taken off. And where this bar goes is where the seats pretty much buckle into. This little black piece is where the bar bolts into, and then the chassis is right there where the black piece bolts into. It was really confusing because obviously this kind of stuff needs to be super tight, so I couldn't just slide this over this black piece without taking the black piece off. And there's also the carpet that kind of goes over that too. It was going to be interesting to try to figure it all out, how to make it look clean with it in the car mounted. But right now, it's, as you can tell, it's bolted in, but it's not tightened down yet. Finally got this. So what I had to do is take both black pieces off and basically put the white bar in there and then slide the black pieces in, then put the bolts in to where it bolts into the chassis, which is this blue part, white part to blue part, and the black part's just sandwiched in the middle now. So it's super tight. It will be very tight in here in a second. Hopefully it does something, because that was a pain in the butt. But what I found out is this other bar right here is actually tightening up the chassis right there. We have chassis stiffness in the front, chassis stiffness in the middle in between the two seats, and then chassis stiffness in the rear. So hopefully this will do an actual good amount. Alright, everything's put back together. Interior's all the way fully put back. What you can see what I did is I cut a little bit of slit right here. It's really hard to see. You can kind of see it over here too. Very unnoticeable to the eye, but there's a slit. That's how I got it through to the bar, and then I cut a hole right here. I do have some little holes right here and on the other side where the bolts are, just in case I ever needed to get to them for some reason, but I really doubt I'll need to. But yeah, doesn't look bad. Doesn't take up much of the room in the trunk. You can see it like right here. It's pretty close, like 3 or 4 inches from the seat in the back. So there's plenty of room to put stuff. You can definitely fit a suitcase underneath this. There's plenty of room, as you can kind of tell. But yeah, hoping this does a lot. Here's the last bar we have. It is right in between the passengers, or it's right in between the front seats and the back seats. And here it is in the car. In the picture, they have nothing taken out, whereas the last one, they had pretty much the whole back of the car taken out. I have everything thrown back in here now, like my gym bag. Everything fits really good. But everything in this rear section was taken out to put in that rear bar. Now this, it looks like it probably just bolts in, like where the seats bolt in right there and right there. So I'm just gonna take this plastic off, which I've already done, obviously. And then it looks like it just bolts in right there, which is super convenient. All of this stuff has fitted so well so far. That rear strut tower brace bar was definitely a little bit more work than I anticipated. Not a big deal though. It only took me about an hour and a half. Oh, my license plate over here got really bent. But yeah, hopefully I can get this done, knocked out. It's literally 2 bolts. Doesn't do any. I'll show you guys the interference in a second with the feet of the passengers in the rear. So I'll get this bolted in and show you guys the finished product. So the bar is in, looks really good, super low profile. You can only fit like 2 fingers underneath all sections of the bar, which is really good. I do see, like, if someone was sitting in this middle seat, which literally never happens, because I don't have 5 people in my car, I would bottom out. 4 people is already ridiculous. But if you did have someone in this middle seat, it would just raise up this, well, transmission tunnel isn't really correct, but the tunnel right here where the transmission would go for a rear-wheel drive car, it is going to be even higher now, so that's going to be tough. The bar in the middle isn't super sturdy. It does have a little bit of flex, so I'm not sure what that's going to do, whereas the bar back here obviously is super sturdy because it's just one simple piece. Right now, it's time to put the car to the ground. Didn't even need to jack the car up at all, but I did. I thought I had a rear sway bar or a front sway bar, but I didn't. But we're gonna test out all this ultra racing stuff right now, see if it feels any different, and if it doesn't, I'm literally going to tell you guys. But if it does feel different, I'll tell you guys that as well. All right, here goes the first test. The chassis stiffness, it's any tighter. I'll be able to tell pretty much when I go on this road out here, get a better understanding if it actually is. Alright, this is a good road to test on. There's a few curves up ahead, and I drive it all the time, so I can typically tell how it feels when I'm on it. Alright, here we go. Oh, dude, yes. Yes, this is 100% different. Yeah, this is way better. It is literally stiffer. It goes into the corners better. Wow. So typically, it's nice. The whole car just feels like it's planted better. I don't really know how else to say it, but that was super smooth where if I do that at that speed, typically it's kind of top speedish. It's tighter as a whole. The car is tighter. So that's actually really impressive, and I'm glad I put in the hours to do this. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of skeptical. I did not think this was gonna do anything, but it definitely, you know what it feels like? I mean, this makes complete sense. When I got the roll bar installed on my Miata, I got a welded in roll bar. Instantly after that, I felt the whole car perform better in corners and just sweeping turns and stuff like that from high speed sweeping turns. Like this is just, it holds the ground better. The whole thing is just way more planted. Those guys at Ultra Racing really know how to stiffen up a chassis. They gave me 3 options of what to get, and I pretty much told them, hey, you choose what you think will do the best for my car. These are the 3 they gave me, and these 3 are definitely working. Right away I could tell, which is awesome. Even when I do these little baby turns, I can feel it. It's just better. It just doesn't feel sloppy. Ultra Racing parts are in. I could definitely tell the difference. It wasn't a huge dramatic difference, but there definitely was a difference there. From driving the car every single day, you can kind of get a feel of what the car feels like, and then when you drive it and it feels even slightly different, or there's an exhaust leak or anything super minorly off, you can tell. And there was definitely a difference with this Ultra Racing kit I pretty much got. I got the front strut tower bar, essentially the rear strut tower bar, and a brace that goes in between the bolts on the driver's seat that essentially is in the middle of the car. So to do a little sick, if I could say one thing to Ultra Racing, it would be try to figure out your packaging a little differently. That was kind of frustrating. One really good thing though is I thought I was gonna have to massage these pieces into place more, but I didn't have to. They fit perfect the first time, and that is the best part about this. It fit perfect. But that is going to be the video, guys. Thank you so much to Ultra Racing. I'll have all of their products down below. They have a ton of different parts for a ton of different cars. Like your car most likely has at least 10 things of chassis bracing on there that you can utilize from their site. Very affordable stuff. It will not come damaged, promise you that. All the Ultra Racing stuff will be down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. We do have more parts for this car. Coilovers are coming next. We're going to be throwing in a new set of coils, and I think the paint is gonna go. We need a fresh new color on there. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked the video, like the video. If you didn't like the video, still like that video. Comment whatever you want, and bye.